No Man's Sky Next has finally been revealed, the big update for the space exploration game. Isn't that right, Jake Kulkowski? Sitting here with me, Mike Williams.
Yep, man, it's here. We finally got a trailer, and it's out next week.
Next week, as Sean Murray enjoys calling it. Sean Murray, the creator of Hello Games. He's quite
famous.
Yeah, he's having a great time on Twitter talking about No Man's Sky Next, the big update. You know, fair enough. There's lots to be excited about, I guess.
There's lots to be said.
Yeah,
we did a video just 2 weeks ago about this very same thing.
Yeah.
So we've obviously felt the need to do another video because the trailer was so substantial, and
absolutely,
that's saying something, isn't it?
The trailer kind of emerged after a Twitch stream, and it was the culmination of this long ARG that was just explaining, what was in the game. It's only 2 minutes long, but it just gives you a quick taste, a quick sample of all the new additions that are coming as part of the next update for No Man's Sky, which is arriving on July 24th, which is going to be a free update for everyone on PC and PS4, but it's going to be coming as a full new release on Xbox One on that date as well. So there's a lot going on in terms of No Man's Sky that day. It's a completely free update, like I said. So again, that's worth reminding people that this is just an update.
Yeah.
It's not DLC or anything. As far as the big headline additions that are coming that we now know for sure, multiplayer we knew was coming anyway, but that's kind of been detailed in a blog post by Sean Murray. Alongside this, he wrote a blog post on the PlayStation blog to accompany this trailer, and we know that as multiplayer goes now for sure, team up with a small group of friends and explore the universe together, or joined by random travelers. You can help friends stay alive or prey on others to survive, so that's pretty much PvP, right?
Pretty
Definitely.
much, yeah.
You can have tiny shelters or complex colonies that you build as a team, and they're shared for all players. You can fight as a pirate or a wingman in epic space battles with friends and enemies, race exocraft across weird alien terrains, create racetracks and trails to share online. Character customization allows you to personalize your appearance. All very multiplayer, all very online game type stuff.
Well, personalising appearance is a big one, because another huge thing that we saw in the trailer is that it's third person now.
Exactly.
Well, it's still first person. There is the seamless thing, you can decide what you want to play in, first person or third person. But yeah, you got a guy and he looks good. Damn.
Yeah.
I really like the style.
It's
how
nice.
your character looks.
It's a nice art style, and it's very nice animation as well. I got to say, it's quite easy to get this wrong. It's like something that Bethesda has kind of wrestled with their Elder Scrolls and Fallout and stuff. But
a huge team of people.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're a first-person game, it's quite difficult to make a third-person experience quite convincing. But that's something they've clearly been keen to show off here. The entire trailer is in third person because you can play the entire game in third person. Now you can move your character around in third person, but you can also fly ships and pilot the craft in third person, which is a big change. It's part of the visual overhaul, which Hello Games has said and Sean Murray said. I personally think this is very good. I mean, it's just another option, really, if you want it.
There's something that we saw on Cyberpunk 2077 announced that it was first person only, is that a lot of people came out of the woodwork and said, you know what, actually, I don't like first person games. And it's not because I don't like them stylistically, they just make me feel sick. I've got something where I can't play first person games because I feel nauseous. So the fact that people who are suffering from that can play it as well is great. So more options are always a good thing.
Exactly.
And when it comes to stuff like that can make players potentially feel sick, then avoiding that is always good, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
no one likes
your audience being vomiting. Who enjoys that? Certainly not me. I mean, it's the fact that it's third person as well, and that pure fact will just open this game up to more people, because some people will, not to the extreme of making them feel ill, but they just might not like a first person experience, and they might just avoid it. And so that this opens the game up to totally different people. It's not just a visual change that changes how you interact with the game, and it changes what the game is in a lot of ways. And the game, I've got to say, looks different. It looks like a different game.
It really does. It really, really does. If you were a big company, you could sell us as No Man's Sky 2. You know what I mean? It's got enough new features to be considered a separate game, and the graphics are that much more improved, I think. Well, my girlfriend's a bit of a muggle. She's not into the fucking video games and all that yet.
Not into the gaming.
She was one of the people that watched me playing No Man's Sky when it came out. And she's heard about it because it's infamous. Showed her this trailer, and even she was like, "Wow, it's completely changed."
Yeah, so it's quite a revolution.
is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
I mean?
Even the Muggles are seeing the difference.
Exactly.
So in terms of other big visual differences, I mean, as a big kind of space geek, in the sense that Fry from Futurama is a space geek, I haven't got a clue what I'm talking about. I just get really excited about it.
Space.
Yeah, whoa, space. Yeah. So just seeing a ringed planet in the sky was just, I'm so happy about that. That's so cool.
I think wicked.
Yeah. One thing when people say, the planets aren't diverse enough, that is part of the thing for me. It's just, all the planets are basically rocky kind of variations of different themes, but having a planet with a literal ring of debris around it, that is variation. That is proper variety. That is what the game's missing, and I hope they continue to evolve that. I hope eventually we get gas giants or something like that, just something that's different, completely different to just a rocky surface. But I'm very excited about the ringed planets. That looks very cool. They also promised a dramatically improved planetary terrain generation, ground textures, water and clouds, which bring the environment to life. I've got to say, the very first thing I noticed after the third person perspective was the trees. Because
totally.
There are tree-like things in it. There are trees in the game for sure already, right? But they aren't forests. There aren't wooded areas.
It's just like one lone sad palm tree. Like it's like being on a beach.
or a little oasis, like a little
10 in a ring in it.
Yeah, which is that's shit trees, isn't it? I want good trees.
Yeah, we want fucking Fangorn Forest.
Yeah, exactly. I want Fangorn Forest from Lord of the Rings on some of these planets, and that is, some people noticed beforehand that the box art sleeve for the Xbox had this kind of forested area on the back of it and stuff. So that's obviously a conscious addition, because I think the trees were actually a big part of that first E3 reveal that they did with the gameplay. There's just trees everywhere. It's thick forest everywhere.
It's something that we've spoken about a lot, because you mentioned the first time you saw the big animals moving down the trees, and having a dense tree line is crucial for that to happen. So having this, like I guess you'd call it density, or
they look more tree-like as well.
They do. They seem to sort of hang about in more tree-like areas. Do you know what I'm saying? These trees look like trees.
They look it's the kind of trees that I'm interested in. So there you go, new trees, and also significantly more detail added to ships, NPCs, and buildings, which is kind of something that's just happened. I don't know when it happened earlier, but they've just been improving the general finesse and look of the game with the prior updates. Because for example, when you step into the cockpit now is a much more detailed and like vibrant varied experience, and completely varied, depending on the ship that you've got, compared to what it was at launch, which was a bit kind of flat and
it was a bit like Lego box kind of stuff, and then now you feel like if you get a different ship, got a different layout, and it looks different. Third person's obviously going to help with this hugely, because you're gonna want to look at your ship,
look at your own stuff.
You're gonna want to look at your own character and look at all the stuff that you've customized. Customization doesn't mean much if you're in a first-person environment. Other players will be able to see you, sure, but sometimes you just want to look at yourself and go, damn.
Yeah, well, I do that all the time. When I'm playing games. What I like about this really so far, though, is the fact that people have just guessed, or they've kind of figured out what it could be and what makes sense and what would be coming next. And people thought, well, it's going to be multiplayer, so other people are going to see you. Should it be third person? Yes, it is third person, and they've clearly thought about it in great detail, how it's going to affect the gameplay and stuff, and it's actually a big addition. And the multiplayer is not just multiplayer, it's like a multiplayer package. It's got like everything you would expect a multiplayer game to have, like having the ability to customize your character and having the flexibility of being PvE and PvP and being different experiences to different people.
Your friends, because it's a huge universe or whatever. So how are you going to find each of them?
Well, exactly. If you're getting grief, just fly away, innit? Just go somewhere else.
I'm assuming the portals that we see on this trailer, are paramount in how you find other players.
I would imagine so.
For example, Mike, I'm in the fucking Nebulous 8 galaxy.
Oh, thanks. Is that your address?
That's it. Yeah. Then you just go, all right, I pop in the portal, see you in a minute, and then that's how it works. But they've added all the things, all the bells and whistles. You've got your freighters, you got your flipping dog fighting bits and stuff we've seen from the trailer. Let's
talk about those freighters, because you can get a full freighter ship in the game now as it is, and that's been in there for a while. That was in one of the updates, one of the prior updates. You could just own a freighter. Well, now it says command a fleet of freighters, assemble and upgrade a fleet of freighters, and command them from the bridge of your freighter. So you can actually control one of these big fleets that you see quite regularly in the game. They just kind of warp in en masse, and it looks cool when it happens. But you can actually command that now. You can send your fleet out into the universe or deploy them spoken to help you as you explore a specific system. This is one of my biggest question marks about all this. What's the point of the commanding a fleet? Like, what's the benefit of it? What's the net reward of?
I suppose,
apart from just being a commander of a fleet.
Well, in your base, like, you can employ various like alien creatures and that, like Gek and whatever. Because now that they move, right, that's another thing, that they're moving around now. You see them in the trailer moving. Maybe if they are moving and stuff like that, if you give one of your freighters, I don't know, commands to one of your Gek mates, one of your NPC mates, can they go and do some farming? Can you like set them out, go and farm this and come back? But I don't know. I don't want to speculate because it's it's the thing you don't want to do with this. But I feel like I feel because it's only like a week away and we've seen so much. I feel like whatever I'm speculating now, I'm not going to let myself down. I'm not going to let hype get to me and sweep me to the floor like it happened the first time for a lot of people. But I have a feeling it might be something to do with that. Maybe sending out your NPCs to do something, or maybe even just, I don't know, you might be a big player with a couple of freighters. Your mate might not have one. Just give him one. You've got a fleet of them. That's what you want to do.
Just have a destroyer.
Yeah, he's just bought one. Give him it.
It sounds quite militaristic to me. I don't know if it's going to be like an occupation thing. If you're going to occupy systems with a big fleet of big starships and stuff, and have a base on one of the planets and stuff. And it sounds a bit kind of military almost. Again, the game is so big that if you don't want that military thing, you can fly out to the vast unexplored expanse and find somewhere where you are completely alone, and it isn't a military type thing. I think it just I think I'm comfortable with it.
I think you're definitely able to do that, hide around, and because you could only build in certain areas and certain places in the game as it stands, but now you can build absolutely anywhere. You could hide a base like under a lake or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was another big reveal right at the top of the trailer. They were underwater, weren't they?
Exactly, building bases. So you can also terraform on the game. That's something that already exists. So you could carve out a little hole in a mountain, build a little sneaky mountain base, become fucking
some kind of Bond villain.
Totally, exactly. It gives you some real great opportunities to hide from these huge
from the MI6. From MI6. From MI6.
That's it. Finally become. So
let's talk about the base building a little bit then. This is the last kind of detail that we haven't hit on. We were just talking about the freighters, so let's just talk about that real quick. They are customizable as is now. You can customize the interior of your freighters and build corridors and build rooms and put stuff in them. Well, now they've said they've improved that. Improved freighter base building allows for truly custom capital ships. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. That sounds like I don't know what that means. It's kind of a vague promise. It's there. They've enhanced the freight customization somehow. Invite your friends aboard and take on challenging multiplayer missions from the Galactic Commission Station on your bridge. That is big.
Missions.
Sounds a bit like you're more like Destiny or MMO type experience, where there are missions where you need a group to do them.
Exactly, and I wonder what that's about. Is it because you're gathering a vast amount of resources, or is there going to be a big Sentinel presence on the planet?
Big space battle or something? Take on another fleet.
You've seen a lot of walking Sentinels towards the end of this trailer and stuff like that, so maybe there'll be things like that. Maybe you will be doing some sort of fucking space cowboy shit, or maybe it's going to be something a little bit more reserved. Go and get a couple of these prickly pears on Mars and shit.
Come on lads, get the prickly pears. And then on the actual base building front, the bases that are on the planets, they can now be built anywhere on the planet, which is the phrase they've used is unlimited base building, because there are constraints currently on base building. Yeah, that's it. You have to pick a certain place. You've got to choose your plot, and you're like, right, this is the outpost. And as now they're going a lot more, shackles are off kind of thing. They've said they've dramatically increased base building complexity and size limits. There's hundreds of new base parts, and you can own multiple bases. Again, another big limitation, which they've expanded on. So base building, if you enjoy that aspect of the game, has had a massive overhaul by the sounds of it, and it's a completely different experience. This is something that a lot of the fans on like the No Man's Sky subreddit, for example, were very excited about. They were like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting this kind of shackles off base building, which is cool for those people. I'm more of an explorer than a base builder, and I probably will stop and have an outpost here and there or whatever.
Yeah.
But I
quite like making my little base, It's I didn't expect to.
You're desperate for me to come and visit, so I need to. I feel like I really need to.
Well, I don't really like any of this, settlement building, any of that in any game. But No Man's Sky, there's something about making a little sanctuary amongst the stars. They're beautiful. Love it.
The solitude makes it a cool idea. That I'll set up camp here, and I'm making my own home. kind of thing. I'm making my own base. There is no base for me.
Exactly.
I'll just make one.
Frontiersman, man.
Exactly. It's the Wild West.
Final
it's like,
frontiersman.
Yeah, the final frontiersman. There you go. I mean, we're better to leave the video, I guess. Sean Murray has written on the PlayStation blog just some nice words that express how he feels about this. Like I said, he's been very active on Twitter as well, tweeting up a storm with some
tweeting like no one's ever hurt him.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's exactly. He's got emojis all over the place. The kind of, what is it? The summon.
There's the summoning emoji. Yeah,
as in summoning a trailer, right? And that got people. That was before anyone knew it was going to be a trailer, and it was all very.
He's been very, very.
He's having a nice time.
Yeah,
Sean Murray's having a nice time.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
So
he's had a couple of Bacardi breezes by himself, and he's tweeting like nothing ever went wrong. You know.
Well, you know, I mean, they've put 2 years into this, so I'm kind of.
They put 2 years into it, and the one thing Sean Murray is saying is that this isn't the end.
Yeah, I like that you've brought that up, because I think that's the best place to leave it, actually. He has repeated again this idea, which he just said a couple of weeks ago on Inside Xbox or whatever, but he said it again now, that this is a big update. This is what we've been working towards. Today's a big deal for us, he says on Twitter, but it's not the end. They're still working on it. They're still going to be adding stuff, which is very encouraging. And it just earns my goodwill, my good faith, I think, because not only are they promising the regular updates, they're not even saying there will be tons of updates. They're just banging out these massive updates every 3-6 months. You know, that's good. As someone who bought the game for full price at launch and not spent a penny on it since, and I'm compared to a lot of fucking AAA games,
compared to nearly any game, you don't get this sort of level of improvement.
So it's kind of earns my goodwill there. But I'm looking forward to getting into this for sure, and I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing the full detailed patch notes. This is not what this is. This is just a list of bullet point features on a blog on PlayStation. That's where we've got this information and a trailer. We don't know the full extent or the full detail of a lot of these features yet. So that'll be coming, I imagine, as has been the form with the previous updates for this game, will be arriving on the day or just before the patch goes live.
And that day is when?
It is the 24th of July, which is when the game comes out on Xbox One and the free update comes to those who own it on PC and PS4. Thank you everyone for listening, and thanks for watching. I've been Mike Williams and this is Jake Kulkowski. We'll see you next time.